How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 2023 Czinger 21C. Now, before we get into today's topic, definitely be sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, and also click that little bell icon to turn on post notifications. All that stuff really does help me out a ton in the YouTube algorithm as a smaller YouTuber. But today we're going to be talking about this crazy new $2 million hypercar that's actually basically going to be made by Czinger in partnership with Divergent Technologies out of California. And I have a couple specs written down of this car right now that I'll just rattle off to you. So it's actually going to be powered by a hybrid system. It's going to have a twin turbo V8 and an electric electric motors as well, and it's going to be producing 1,350 horsepower at 11,500 RPMs, which is pretty nuts. And it's essentially going to be a hypercar. For those of you that already weren't ticked off from this like $2 million price tag, but yeah, the title and the thumbnail of this video is not clickbait. This thing is 100% 3D printed, which is pretty insane. But before we look at some pictures of this car and kind of really get into the nitty-gritty with the design, I did also want to say that the twin turbo V8 and the hybrid system actually delivers its power through a 7-speed sequential manual transmission and a transaxle as well, because it's all kind of like, I believe it's mid-engine and rear-wheel drive. Everything's just tucked back there mechanically, and the entire body is essentially made of a like carbon fiber material that's actually ran through these 3D printers. So it's extremely lightweight, makes a crap ton of power, and it's essentially a new American hypercar that could definitely be a competitor for like stuff that Shelby Supercars makes, as well as like some of the more, I guess, established brands in Pagani, Koenigsegg, and Bugatti. So yeah, now getting into some of the pictures of this Czinger, and I'm just going to go off Google Images right here and kind of scroll through them with you guys. But I initially did see this on Jay Leno's channel, and I will leave a link to a video that we're kind of going to be looking at in a bit. But you can check out the full video on Jay Leno's channel. And obviously he's awesome. Like, who doesn't love Jay Leno? They go into a little bit more detail than I'm going to be able to in this video, unfortunately, because, you know, I don't have it right here in front of me. But looking at the design, it looks like an absolute spaceship. You can see the doors kind of, it's a center seat car, and it's like there's two seats in there. So there's the driver's seat in the front, and then the passenger seat is directly behind the driver's seat, which is pretty wild. And then the door design as well, you can see like just how long those doors really stretch compared to like the rest of the car's body. And in something like this, like it almost looks like make-believe. It looks like a concept car, but here is the actual vehicle, you know, pictured next to Jay Leno. And that the man in the black shirt is actually the CEO, and I think the guy in the gray shirt is his son or nephew or something, because they both have that Czinger last name. I'd have to say it is his son, but the amount of science and research and development that goes behind a car like this is just absolutely astonishing. Probably my favorite part of the design of this 2023 Czinger 21C, which, by the way, the 21C, little fun fact, that stands for 21st century. Just wanted to throw that in there as well. But my favorite part about this 3D printed hypercar has got to be the rear. I mean, just look at how the rear looks right here in this picture. I know the taillight could be a little bit weird, but I love the fact that it's just a singular like LED strip that goes across the entire width of the vehicle. Now, one thing that I did kind of notice, which it seemed a little bit off and a little bit weird to me, in the video of Jay Leno actually driving this car and kind of trying it out on the test track, you can see that this carbon fiber wing in the rear, it actually wobbles quite a bit in the video. And again, unfortunately, I can't show you a lot of the video. I can do like snips here and there, but it will get copyrighted, I'm almost certain. But it definitely does wiggle a lot for something that is supposed to be carbon fiber. Normally carbon fiber is very rigid and strong. And also another, I guess, kind of negative that I can say about this car is it isn't as light as I think it would be with a vehicle with a full carbon fiber body should be, I think. It does weigh in at around 27,500 pounds for its dry weight. So, you know, that's not heavy by any means. But when it comes to the hypercar world, I guess, you know, there's definitely some out there that are pretty lighter than this. Now, probably the most mental part of looking at this car is, again, the rear with the back actually opens up. You can see the twin turbo V8 with that 3D printed exhaust. Everything in this car is 3D printed. All the suspension components, all the body panels, all the engineering and everything behind it everything is just 3D printed, which is pretty astonishing and surprising to say the least. Also, in Jay Leno's video, he was making a point about how these little braces and pieces right here, which I guess kind of perform like a strut tower brace would, they were apparently like a pain in the ass for Czinger to actually go ahead and make. But now, looking at probably the most interesting component of this car, at least in my opinion, is this brake node. So I'm going to play a little bit of Jay Leno's video here, and you can see that that's actually the brakes. So inside of that, you have all the brake components. You have the calipers, the pistons. You even have a little part where you could bleed the brakes, like they're actual brakes. The hydraulics are in there and everything as well. Except it's also a suspension part, so it's built into the suspension of the car, and as well it does have a heat exchanger too, which you can kind of see in that little animation that Jay Leno's team put together right there in the video. But yeah, that was really mind-blowing to me, and one of the probably most interesting points that was made towards the end of this video, at least in my opinion, is that the overall man hours and time that it takes to change designs with this new like 3D printed technology is incredibly better than, you know, the extensive hours that it would go to change a design traditionally on a like more traditional assembly line that you might find in a Ford manufacturing plant or a Honda manufacturing plant or something like that. So essentially they can take this car out on a track, find something wrong with it, and then within a couple hours design a replacement part for whatever is wrong and whatever they want to tweak, and then in just a couple more hours print out the part, install it, swap it out for the what's already on the car, and then boom, you basically have a solution to your problem, or who knows, maybe you have more problems from the replacement. But still, I find that really, really crazy. And I can honestly, like, very confidently say that some of your big players when it comes to manufacturing probably are going to be integrating this technology in the next, like, 1 or 2 years, if not they're already looking into doing it right now, because it would save a lot on man hours, and again, it would save a lot on, like, research and development time and just delays with different designs for, like, regular vehicles that are produced on a more traditional like assembly line. But let me know what you guys think of this 3D printing technology being used to actually manufacture full-on vehicles down in the comments below. And also let me know what you think of this Czinger 21C, you know, completely 3D printed hypercar. I know it wasn't like a full review on this car or anything like that. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys and just go out and say that I haven't done enough research on this specific car alone to be confident enough to do a full-on review on it. However, another like main part of me like making this video is to kind of raise the question to you guys and see if, you know, you think that 3D printing should actually be, again, you know, incorporated in the manufacturing of modern cars, because I definitely think that it should. 3D printing has certainly come a long way, even in like the past 5 years or so. But that is pretty much just going to be it for today's video. Again, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe while you're down there. It's absolutely free. And if you are subscribed, be sure to click that bell icon down there to actually turn on post notifications and get notified every single time that I do post a new video. It really does help me out a lot. I know it's annoying for me to say, but like always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed today's video, click on either of these links right here to watch a similar video from this channel, or click on the little circle link right there to actually subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. I do appreciate all the support, but thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.